Europe has more than 200,000 kilometers of railway, and most major cities are connected with a high-speed railway network. Let me tell you why you should go on Interrail or travel Europe by train in general. First of all, train travel is convenient. I'm currently on a trip through 7 countries in Europe, and doing this by plane would not have been very fun. I don't miss traveling to a bunch of different airports and standing in line for security checks and standing in line for boarding. Train stations are typically located inside city centers, so I can just hop on a train and be off to my next destination. For extra convenience, I've booked most of my hotels close to the train station, so I can just check in minutes after I arrive. And in most cities, there's plenty of public transportation close to the central station for when I want to explore the city. The convenience of traveling by train is actually quite remarkable compared to flying. Another big reason is that a train is more comfortable. You're not strapped into a tiny airplane seat, and you can actually move around a little bit and stretch your legs. Well, most of the time at least. Sometimes you're not that lucky if you go on Interrail and you can't find a seat. It's also less noisy, and there's better refreshments and snacks to buy than on a plane. Traveling by car does give you a lot more freedom than going by train, but it requires you to stay alert at all times, and you can't have a beer when driving. If you travel by plane, it's amazing to look at the clouds and see the landscape from above during takeoff and landing. But most of the time, you won't really see anything at all outside. Not so on a train. You can enjoy the ever-changing scenery of mountains, lakes and forests right outside your window. Anyone who's traveled by train can tell you that it's a great feeling to simply relax and look out the window. If you get tired of all the natural views, you can enjoy the unnatural views of your laptop or phone instead. On a train, no one will tell you when to shut off your laptop. You're on a train, you can do whatever you want. Well, almost. And you don't have to care what you bring in your carry-on luggage either. Did I bring any liquids? No one's gonna care. I can bring my spray-on deodorant and a big bottle of Coke Zero. Did I bring any electronics or power banks? I sure did, and no one cares at all. And no one is gonna bother me about the size of my carry-on luggage either. In fact, that brings me to my next point. Every airline these days tries to charge you extra for checking in a bag or having an extra large piece of carry-on luggage. Did you pack more than 20 kilos? Well, now you're in for some extra costs. On a train, just go ahead and bring everything you want. Well, not really. There are limits, of course, but it's a lot more than on a plane. Fun fact, when I moved to my first apartment, I moved everything I owned on a train by myself. Granted, it wasn't all that much, but still. Another good thing about traveling by train is that it's quite fast. Of course, a plane actually moves faster, but given all the hassles with airport transfers and waiting in line, a train could actually be faster on shorter routes. Especially when it comes to traveling between Central and Western European cities, where the railway network is really well built out. Germany, Austria and Switzerland have excellent rail networks. And speaking of European cities, going by train is an excellent way to see different cities, and you can explore some of the most impressive tourist attractions in Europe this way. In 2.5 days, you could travel all the way from London to Istanbul. Along that route, you would travel through Brussels, Cologne, Munich, Salzburg, Vienna, Budapest and Bucharest before getting to Istanbul. You would travel through 9 different countries, and you would literally get all the way from the cold British Isles all the way to the Orient. Imagine everything you could see along the way, as opposed to just hopping on a plane. I didn't even include any cities in Spain, Portugal, Italy or France in that list, so there's a lot to discover. If you go to Italy by plane, you'll most likely fly to Rome. If that flight is cancelled or delayed, then your trip might not happen. But if your train is cancelled or delayed, you can take another route, or maybe go to Naples or Venice instead. Traveling by train gives you a lot of flexibility, and you're not locked down to a single route like you are with a plane. And when things go wrong, because sooner or later something will go wrong, then you won't find yourself stranded at an airport with no flight leaving for another 3 days. You'll find yourself at a train station connected to the whole rest of Europe. On my way to Bled, my train from Vienna was delayed, so I'm stuck in the town of Villach in Austria for a few hours. I guess that's both the beauty and the curse of going on Interrail. You never know exactly where you're gonna end up. Then again, that means that I get an unexpected opportunity to explore this cute little town. Traveling by train could end up costing a lot if you book individual trains, but Interrail or Eurail helps a lot with that. If you're a youth and you just want to travel for a couple of weeks, you can get a travel pass for just a couple of €100. However, if you're an adult and you want to travel first class, then you might end up spending €900 if you want to travel for a month. And that's actually still a pretty good deal. Just be aware that there are some hidden costs involved with Interrail. You still have to pay for a seating ticket on many trains, but all in all, I still think it's pretty damn cheap. I'm fine traveling second class, so I ended up spending less than €400 for all my train travel, including seating reservations. Finally, traveling by train is good for the environment. Or, well, no, of course it's not good, but it's better than burning fossil fuels. The electricity that a train uses still has to be generated somehow, and that's not always done in an eco-friendly way. But I feel pretty confident that it's causing less harm than going by car or plane. And that's about it. Those are my top reasons why you should go on Interrail or travel Europe by train in general. I hope you found it useful. Like and subscribe, but most importantly, have a great day.